It's time for the movie rating. Tonight's victim is actor Bruce James Kaufman. Has done such films as The Office Job, Candy Bar Heist. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, Mike?
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about both films that you're if you are allowed to give any information between both films.
Oh, absolutely. The Office Job, we've been shooting that since the summer 2019. It's about two mafia guys that are trying to get out of the mafia and go straight and have straight jobs. It's a comedy. And in it, my partner and I, we play the leading role of that, Martin Lewis and myself. So I was a little reluctant to even take in the part because it was a comedy, and that's not really my thing. And everybody's like, oh, no, come on, you'll be great. Just play the part. It's interesting. I've had a ball. It's been a lot of fun. Had a few times on set where we're just having to work through this because we're laughing all the way through. It's a lot of fun. Candy Bar Heist, that was a really fun, neat opportunity. It was a really long night that we shot, 16-hour night. That one I played a disgruntled police officer named Officer Brooks. Great actors, great crew. Man, just what a great opportunity it's been.
Have you been working with other projects in between, or have you been bouncing out, basically focusing on these two projects?
Been working on the two projects. The Office Job came first, and it's just been chugging along. We had a few setbacks during the filming, and along came the Candy Bar Heist opportunity, and I had to seize it. I just really wanted to jump in there and do it. It was a small part in the film. Nevertheless, it was just a really great opportunity. It has some dialogue in there, and as an actor able to act and have dialogue, that's gold. That's the kind of stuff you want. You want dialogue in your movie and in your demo reels. So I was really happy about that. And as I'm working on that, a third opportunity came, and the Deliverance of Amy Stronghold came my way as well. And so I finished that up several weeks ago. And in that one, I play a corrections officer. Real key component, real part of that movie is the officer in there. His name is Sarge. It was just a great opportunity to play in that movie.
Is this pretty much independent? Do you rather stick to this? Is it just better business at this time in terms of cinema right now?
The roles that I play are antagonist, protagonist, really good guy or a really bad guy or something in between. And fortunately for me, the three movies that I've worked on and have all fit within that genre. I have some more opportunities coming up next year, 3 additional movies. Now, I can't really talk about at this time, but they all fit within that genre. They all fit within that good guy, bad guy stuff. I've hit my stride as far as getting those roles, and I just really couldn't be happier. It's just kind of unbelievable being offered opportunities versus having to hit the pavement and be looking for them. I mean, I'm always looking, don't get me wrong, but it's just been a unique, super blessed to have these opportunities coming my way. It's just been incredible. This has been absolutely unbelievable.
Do you think an actor's emotions grow stronger and even more effective and efficient in lower budget films opposed to any higher budget films or even higher studios? Do you think it actually helps them a lot easier to get these roles out better?
I don't know if money is going to make a whole lot of difference, or a whole lot of money for that matter. I've yet to experience that, quite honestly, but the work that I do, I just want it to be authentic. Being able to just strip away any notion of what I'm here for other than playing the role and the part of the movie is really where I want to be. And so far that's worked out really, really well for me. Now, I could see how somebody was making maybe a lot of money and they were doing this a lot. Maybe they could begin taking it for granted, that type of thing. Because I think that where I'm at right now, I'm pretty hungry to do a really good job and really deliver the best that I can. And that's my intention, is to do that throughout the career. Based on past experiences and seeing how people kind of work, I could see how the tendency could go either way. It could be like, wow, here's a great incentive. I want to work even harder and maybe even earn more. Or it could get to a place where somebody has earned so much that maybe they lose that drive. In my mind, I always want to kind of temper that, make sure I'm always delivering the very best that I can, regardless of what happens, whether I'm making X amount of dollars or a whole bunch of extra dollars. It's about the art itself, and that's where it needs to be.
Do you think sometimes feeling that you have to be in the center of attention, do you think sometimes that might work out? Not to actually have that mentality, but to actually feel like you have to be that way in order to get your surroundings as well as the role itself?
That's a tricky question with a tricky answer. Wherever the actor is at, to make a scene pop. And I guess the first thing I think of, the first word that comes to my mind is authenticity. Just to bring that authentic part of the movie that you're reading a script. You don't want to just look like you're just reading it. I mean, obviously you need to be acting the part as you're saying it, and it needs to be authentic. So, if somebody's sad obviously they're not smiling as they're reading the role. It's possible, depending on what the scene is all about. That's where a good session of maybe a little trial and error. I've done it when I'm shooting, and I'll do the script and say it, and I'll look at the director and say, hey, was it like that? Did you like that? And immediately get that feedback, and if it's not, I'm willing to do it again. Let's just do this till we get it exactly the way that you want it. There are so many emotions and so many different things that could flow that the director themselves, they're the ones that have it in their mind how they want this all to fit. As a particular artist, we only know our parts, but don't necessarily know the entire picture of how that all fits together and the emotions that fit together to make that entire thing flow. So we're kind of compartmentized a little bit as each actor, and that's where that communication between the artist and the director is very, very important. In my opinion, being willing to ask the director or assistant director, hey, am I on point here? Let me know. I'm willing to do it again.
Do you think sometimes it's best to give a little bit or try to get the audience of yourself a little bit before you even attempt to do a role? Or do you think it's best to just leave them in the dark and then figure out what the character is as you perform it?
Another really good question, or another really good thought-provoking question there. Like in The Office Job, that role of Jimmy Boyle that I play, he's basically a mobster who has no filter. He's the bad guy, kind of the brains of the operation between the two, and him and his partner. But as the movie has progressed, as my time on there has progressed, the role of Jimmy Boyle, or that character, has actually kind of taken on its own life. It's really interesting how that happens. That's a really good example of that, because I've had to play his part, I don't want to say for so long, but a lot longer than the other two movies, that you can really kind of get a sense of texture, a little sense of some aesthetics behind this character. He's really become something that I'm not, that I portray. And so it's really cool to do that, to actually kind of come that out. Create something that never was there. The director had something in their mind, here's this character I want to create, but they're kind of really dependent on the actor to bring that out. You know, what does that guy actually look like? What does he sound like? What's his attitudes like? And it's really neat to see the director and the people that are in charge of the film kind of all excited, going, gosh, here's the character that we created, that we wrote about, is alive right in front of us. I mean, when you see them have that moment, that's just like so special. It's really, really cool. And then to be the artist that's doing it makes it even better. It's just awesome.
Having worked with between the director and yourself, you think that even though the director knows what he or she wants, and you may not entirely know what he or she wants, but how do you keep yourself keeping it from between art and artificial between doing the characters and or any other type of role that you're trying to enter in?
Really embody who that person is. And that's a lot of extra work. That's more work than just reading the lines. Even when I'm not on set, I would be thinking, hey, what would Jimmy Boyle be? What would he say about this situation? What would his attitude be about this? Now, obviously, I can't always say that right out loud when I'm getting a coffee or I'm talking with somebody about something. But I can think about it, and I can think about, gosh, how would they react to this? And so it's really kind of interesting as you begin to mold this character or this nuance, and it's all part of discovery, so that when you are on set, you have something to go back on. It's like, I kind of know who this guy is a little bit more as times go along. Just really invest in the character that you're playing. That investment doesn't always have to take place on set. Investment can be in doing your lines. Know your lines and study those. There's no worse feeling than going on set and not having your lines. That's not fun. Have those down. Have that character developed and be working on it. It just makes it so much more fun when you're on set and you're filming. It just all comes out. It just all comes out. Now you're not worried about the script. You're not worried about, what's this guy think or what's he doing. You just do it. And it's just something magical that happens. It's so cool. That's the best part about acting, and the best part of this art is that when you put that time in, when you get up in front of the camera, you forget about the camera, and you're just there, and it just seems so real. There's been times when I've done scenes where I'm actually pinching myself, going, Jesus, this seems so real. It's like I'm caught up in the moment. It's just awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely, because when you use like fantasy and reality and you combine them both, you make a whole different mixture each and every single time, and it never repeats itself. And having to be the actor and being in control of this, how do you keep yourself from just not being so repetitive, not just with the role, but just being repetitive as yourself, having to go in with each and every genre? It's almost like a cycle, so to speak.
Well, it really kind of is. In The Office Job, Jimmy Boyle has very little filter. He's crass, and the things that he says, he does have a playful spirit. That character, I really kind of adore him. He's a great guy. Officer Brooks in the candy bar heist, really quite a miserable human being. Officer Brooks, just playing him, it was fun. I mean, the acting part's fun, but embodying this character, I found, in some ways, a challenge, and really almost difficult, because wearing a uniform in a patrol car, and I used to be a cop, and so incidentally, being in the car, and everything is so authentic, I mean, it was just really surreal, because it's like, wow, I've been here before, and his attitude, my whole character was to play a burned-out cop, so it really kind of hit home with me, not treating my co-star, my partner in the movie, my character didn't treat him really well. Doesn't talk to him very well either. I actually did embody some of that. I was like, wow, man, I actually had to apologize to Neil. I said, Neil, I mean, we're just acting, right? And he's like, oh, yeah, we're just acting. I mean, that's how real it got. That's how real it was really getting. It was just so bizarre. It's just crazy. Deliverance of Amy Stronghold, kind of almost a whole 180 degrees difference from Officer Brooks. This one I play Sarge, who is a very positive influence on Amy Stronghold. Just a very positive influence on her, and that role was just different. Just really different. Kind of felt a little more authentic as to who I am, probably more so on a personal level of who I am was when I played Sarge versus the other two. I could project and portray and go into those roles. The Deliverance of Amy Stronghold and Sarge, it was kind of like it was almost just like right there. Like I could just put the uniform on and just, here's my lines, and here we go, and part of Bruce is part of Sarge. It was awesome. It was just really fun.
If a project doesn't go as planned or well production-wise in terms of how things are going, do you think an artist such as yourself needs to constantly protect yourself to know that everyone else should know that you are an artist, and even though the movie didn't go so well, but you know yourself that still do very well either way?
I just really think it's always important to be where you need to be on time. Be ready to do what you need to do, and just do the very best that you can. Treat everybody on set like gold, right? Be asking the director for feedback. Is there something I could do better? I believe if you just do those things, your course or your path will actually be, I don't want to say paid for you, but you're going to be well on your way in the right direction.
Oh, without a doubt, because a lot of people, a lot of actors, a lot of other artists out there are always probably worried rather if the movie's going to flop, and their name is going to be smeared, and because they're attached to it, and the fact is that they're not going to be as used in other films or other roles because of this, and sometimes it can happen, sometimes it can hurt you, sometimes whatever show that you're doing, even a TV show, sometimes that role can hurt you, and it's not like an intentional thing, it's just sometimes it's just how the public rolls, that's how they see you. So in a way, how do you think the public is going to see you doing these roles, and when maybe it's not as popular or should be popular as it should be?
Mike, I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually did think about that. I'm like, wow, I've got some contrasting roles that I've played. The only thing that I really concern myself about is how well did I do them, okay? So if the movie flops, or if a movie just was a disaster, but yet in that movie that was a disaster, they could say, you know what, that role that guy played is really kind of stupid, but boy, he sure acted the crap out of that. Wow. I mean, he really brought the authenticity to that role. The movie really stunk, but that actor did a good job. And so for me, that's where I want to be at the end of the day. Honestly, that's what I want to bring every time I'm on the set is, what did I do to help make that movie have a chance to be great? Not that it's great because I'm there, but what could I do? What could I contribute to help make it great? Aside from that, there's always going to be forces and things that are out of our control or out of my control. It just is what it is. Maybe it was a poor storyline. Maybe there were some other acting issues. Who knows? Or if there could be other things that bring it down. At the end of the day, just want people to say, wow, man, that was a great actor. We don't have a way to tell what the future's going to be. And if we did, then we could avoid all of those risks, if you will. But I think being an actor and doing what we do inherently has some risk to it anyway.
Because experience, when you're experiencing that kind of thing, was a bad film, or maybe you had a bad role that probably didn't go so well. Problem is, a lot of actors will take that experience and then they're going to try to run with it, or try to keep it in their head that it might repeat the same experience, but the thing is, you're discouraging yourself as an artist as to perform the role.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, if I could use like a sports analogy, the guy that goes out and hits the three-pointers, and he's hitting them and hitting them and hitting them, and, then all of a sudden he misses one, and then now can't hit anything. And it's often because the person's overthinking it. They can't hit it, now they just can't hit it for whatever reason, and they just earlier they were proving that they could. I mean, they were flawless. So I thing because, at one point you do want to get better, and the only way you can do that is by being able to reflect, maybe have a little self-criticism, take some from other folks, and work on that. At the same time, make sure you're only able to work on things that you can control. I don't want to overthink things. In the case of where if I got some bad roles, or was it just maybe the reviews come out and say, man, he just really sucked. Just got to keep moving forward, man. Don't be looking in that rearview mirror. I haven't had that hit yet, but I'm telling you, as I listen back on this in the future, that'll be my own advice, is just to keep going forward and not be looking in that rearview mirror. Just do the things that I was saying earlier. Just continue to just give it everything you got and move forward. What a person's going to have to do to win in this industry is move forward and be thinking that way. Just can't afford to sabotage yourself. I think having a belief in yourself as an actor is really important, because you got to set yourself up for success. Okay, have you had some training? If you haven't, try to find some training. Get a little training. Find somebody who can help you do some improv, drama props, that kind of stuff. Right? This is going out to anybody that's wanting to be an actor. Get some education in it. Don't just completely try to wing it. Get a little education, so now you have some confidence you can begin building off of. And then at some point, you're going to have to put yourself out there, and that's probably the scariest part, is being willing to fail. Be willing to take some of that feedback and not have it come back. I mean, my goodness, when I was starting off in this, I got some pretty bad feedback. If I took that at a heart level, I wouldn't even be on this show with you. But you have to have a belief. This is what you want to do. No matter what, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to continue to move forward and not be looking backwards. Keep looking forward, not backwards. But be willing to take the hits, because they're going to come. There will be some feedback. There'll be some challenges that will challenge you to quit and not continue to give up.
Go ahead and plug in any websites or anything that we can check out right now.
I am on Internet Movie Database. If you look my name in there, you can see the 2 movies that I have the credits for. I have a third. The credits just haven't been put in there. It's in post-production. That's Deliverance of Amy Stronghold. So I have a personal website that I'm putting together, but I really don't want to release that until I have all of my demo reels and all that good stuff put in there.
There you have it, everybody. That is actor Bruce James Kaufman.
Hey, thanks, Mike.